On.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Big D Energy on a Tuesday right here on the Woodward Sports Network. My name is Neal Ruhl, putting his dukes up. 30-style boxing. That's Darren McCarty, D-Mac. Joique Bell in the house as well. They are back in effect. Appreciate Terry Foster stepping in for the boys yesterday. But Joique's got a bounce in his step today, man. You're feeling it, bro, aren't you?
You know what it is, man? I came in. You know who got me feeling good about myself? Art.
Wait, what?
I was in the media room. And Art was trying to bully me around. He was like, "Get out of here, go to your chair so I can get you on film." I said, "We have more than 10 minutes. It's only going to take you 30 seconds or less to get my camera right." So he bullied me out, but when I got up, I flinched at him. And the way that he got into show us the dukes you put up when
I didn't.
Show us the dukes real quick.
I don't recall any of that happening. I don't recall any of that happening.
Hey, listen.
I jumped at Art. He did this.
Listen, Art might have dookied in his drawers right there.
I did not.
Seriously, I looked over. Neal and I were having a conversation, and Stick's almost on the floor laughing so hard. And Art, just imagine. So don't make him mad. If you really made him mad.
I'm here to do a job and have a great show.
Yeah, so do it, man. We're still waiting. We're still waiting for you to do that job.
You wrestle one time, and next thing you know, you're Billy Bat. Well, you did have 127 fights, but still, show some respect.
Oh, by the way, Art's in the producer's booth today, as you can tell. Fish is in the bowl as well. We're ready to get at it here on a Tuesday. Yeah, everybody's warmed up. Everybody's ready to go. Joique, what'd you have popping, man? Catch us up to what Joique Bell had going on.
It was a great weekend. Went back home, did a walkthrough through one of my properties. So spoke with the GC. Everything is going according to plan. Was able to go to my son's football game. And actually, I sent the play. Can you bring that play up, Art?
The play?
Yeah, that I sent to you. Told you to put up and load up. Don't worry about it. We'll get to it.
It sounds good. Thank you.
All right. So I was able to go to his game, and they won. I think it was 35-13. They had played a great game.
Put that work in.
Yeah, they put the work in. I mean, by the end of the game, it got a little boring because they was just running the clock out the fourth quarter, So, but other than that, though, I mean, it was a good game, and he had some crucial plays in the game. And actually, my favorite play from him wasn't even. So he plays wide receiver. So the best play that kind of I looked at and said, "Wow, okay, he's learning the game," is when he got a key block to spring like a 40-yard touchdown, and it's all like, okay. He gets it now, and that was the key block to get into the end zone. So I was proud of him. Good job, Jay.
Yeah.
And I'm hard on him.
As Young Jeezy said, he put on for the city.
He put on for the city. So, and I'm hard on my son.
Got my bars in early, Art.
It's funny because I tell people I don't train my son because I know how hard I train. And so instead of me training him, I give him the best trainer possible. And then I sit there and watch, and I watch in the background. And I don't critique. I let the trainer do what he's supposed to do because I just know how I am as a coach, as a trainer. And so I don't bring that energy home. You're going to go train with him. You can be mad at him, and then we get hop in the car. We're going to go home, and we're going to talk about it, And so but
Joique, let me emphasize on that because that's brilliant. And sort of, I coached my son when he was younger, but I wasn't the hard. It was the assistant coach where I was sort of hard on him, but hard for the little things like you're talking about. So as a dad, and the way that you and I played the game, is a fact. So here, walk us through the play.
So he's that receiver. He's 13. Key block right here. Boom.
Oh,
sprung him all the way.
But there's the little things like that because
it is
the things in
shout out to
the
Juwan.
hockey.
So shout out to Juwan. Juwan is the running back number 6. Who him and my son are really close. He comes up for his birthday, so they're really good friends. And so that's probably why he got that block so well, because like, I gotta help my friend get this touchdown. And so good job, Bears. You know? And that was actually my rival school when I was in high school. But none but love for him.
All the little things, right? Because you got to teach. You do all the little. Scotty Bowman used to say, "Big things will take care of itself. Take care of the little things." Because if he does that now, he'll and for whatever reason, right now it's like, oh, that's my boy. I'm gonna block for my boy. Mm-hmm. But then as he gets the levels higher, because everybody's your boy, right?
Yeah, everybody's your boy. And the thing is, because he's probably like one of the youngest guys on the team. So he'll play his senior year at 16, and so. but he's doing so well academically. We didn't want to hold him back just because of size, and he's busting his butt. He went from number 7 receiver, starting at the beginning of the summer, worked his way up to number 3, 3 or 4, and so I'm proud of him.
Awesome. Yeah, that is cool. And look, you know about climbing that chart, man.
You got to climb it. Yeah. You got to wait your time, got to wait your turn, and eventually he's going to earn a name. He's going to earn that spot, and then once he gets it, I think he'll hold on to it.
Absolutely. The commentators on our YouTube chat room are mad because I didn't welcome in Art as Flint's own. So Flint's own Art is in the production booth with us here today.
They gave him back, guys.
Yeah.
They gave him back.
He's not invited to the barbecue.
There's a negotiation, Neal, at the end of the legal department here, so that's why I think I might have to change it.
Flint's own. D-Mac, what'd you have going on yesterday? Golf outing of some
yesterday
sort?
Was the Joey Kosher Foundation for Children event. Obviously, for the past 10, 11 years, we've done the softball games, but he just did the golf tournament. So, myself, guys like Dave Coulier, Jeff Daniels, we're out there to support Joey at Prestwick Village. So beautiful day to be out there. Shout out to Willie, Eric, and the boys that I played with. The day was a lot better than the golf. So it was one of those days.
Didn't strike
Mondays,
it well.
Mondays. I'm not into the Monday qualifiers. So no, but it was a great weekend. Obviously, exciting. A lot of exciting stuff. Week 0, I got through it. I never really did get the explanation on this.
Because there is no explanation. It's stupid.
But NFL's here. Obviously, a lot of stuff for us to talk about. So, it was nice. Nice day yesterday.
It was. So after the game, called my niece. She had just got back in town. I said, "You guys want to come back up with me to Detroit? I have to do a celebrity kickball game with Big Sean team versus Mary Sheffield, one of the city councilwomen." So they came back up, and they was able to see some of the big names they like. They were able to see my Big Sean, my boy Early Mac. I don't know if you guys remember Hoops. You remember Hoops? The girl Hoops?
No,
that was on Flavor of Love?
No.
You remember Hoops? There's a lot. Like Tony Harrison was there, and they had like a lot of celebrities were there. Josh Jackson was there from the Pistons. He was there. So they was able to see all these guys there. And I might be wrong, but Babyface Ray might have been there too. I don't know if you know who that is. Yeah. All right. So
Flint's own Art.
Yeah, Flint's own. And so they was able to come back up, and the kickball game was it was great. I think Big Sean, he just built a studio in the neighborhood so kids can go there and start recording. It was a great event. A lot of smiling faces. It was food. It was stage. People performed. Shout out to T Villa. T Villa was out there as well, and Zeus was out there. I don't want to miss anybody. Front Page, my homegirl Paige was there. We had a lot of people there. It was fun. But shout out to Big Sean and Mary Sheffield. They are pillars in the community. They do things in the community all the time, bringing people together for the betterment of the community. And so shout out to both you guys. And I just like supporting people who's doing things in the community to kind of uplift the people in it. And so I'm excited about what they're doing, and excited to do more work in the future with you guys. Yeah.
That's cool, man. It certainly was a good weekend for everyone.
Of that? All right, cool.
For one, you sent them to me at 11:09 during the show. I'm trying to grab them. I am trying to grab them.
Oh,
but
okay.
Just know that these things take time, Joique. So just give me a second.
That's funny. That's funny. Everybody
Here
else
comes D-Mac. Here comes D-Mac. I'm waiting for D-Mac to say
I'm gonna
something.
start calling that the charcuterie booth because so much cheese and wine in there. It's unbelievable.
Oh,
Thanks for letting us say. You know, can we get a transcript of everything you have to do for the people at home after the show so they can see how brow whipped you are?
Yeah.
We
you know
gotta
what's
get
crazy is if I was to show up to like a Red Wings practice late or like a Lions practice late, I would get chewed out. But send in
As
pictures
Art
and
Smith,
video.
yeah. Not as Darren McCarty or
Oh,
Joique Bell. So there you go.
Bullshit. You want to
Different
get yelled
strokes for
at?
different folks.
Oh, give me a break. Give me a break.
Everybody gets treated the same, differently.
That's right.
I believe Wayne Font said that best.
Yep.
I treat Barry Sanders the same, differently. And that's the greatest line. That's a great life lesson, Art.
Yep.
It is.
That's it.
It all depends.
Yep.
How you get treated depends on a lot of factors.
Speaking of depends, Art, you might, after... Don't be mouthing Joique. I mean, he's seriously. Earlier today, I thought you might have had a heart attack.
You know what?
I thought you were white to begin with, like pasty white,
I'm
but
tan.
holy
What are
cow.
you talking about? I'm getting a good tan. I got a good base. I was preparing myself. I was getting in motion,
Yeah, well, hey, D-Mac.
Speaking of motion, right? So we saw the and this is later on. We didn't get a chance to talk to Jake Paul and Tyrone Woodley. Not that it mattered, but if Joique Bell and Art Smith ever go down, you know what?
God.
We can use our studio sponsor, mybookie.ag. It's a new season. If you don't want to bet celebrity boxing, which they have, we got football season. Yes, 18 weeks of it. College football odds boost, NFL lock of the season, over 500,000 contest prizes live on site to make the winning season your best ever with mybookie.ag. Now, listen to this. Go to mybookie.ag. Your first deposit bonus using code Woodward up to 1,000 match for match. You put 100, you get 100. Put 500, get 500. So on and so forth with code word Woodward on mybookie.ag. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie. Gambling problem? Call the National Problem Gambling Helpline at 1-800-522-4700. Mr. Bell, Mr. McCarty, Mr. Ruhl. Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. We'll be right back.
Tony is a third-generation logger that has a simple, practical approach to life and work. That's why his Coast DX342 knife is perfect for him. The stainless steel blade is rust-resistant and made for all-weather use. And the double roll-lock safety ensures that it will never inadvertently close when he doesn't want it to. That's why Coast is trusted tough.
Welcome back to Big D Energy on the Woodward Sports Network. Joique Bell, Darren McCarty. My name is Neal Ruhl. Happy to have you with us. And, NFL dominating the day. NFL news, Detroit Lions news, all of it. And look, yeah, I talked about this yesterday with Terry. I'll bring it up to you guys as well. I'm running a little hot today about this whole Detroit Lions situation. Jahlani Tavai cut. Joique, you and I discussed that. I mean, you despite your best efforts to take up for him, Jahlani Tavai still got cut. I'm just giving you a hard time.
Yeah, I mean, he was out of there. But the thing is, I'm never going to call anyone in the NFL. I'm not going to discredit them in a whole, because at the end of the day, they are at the highest level. And even if you get drafted in the NFL in any round, then kudos to you. All right, that's a big accomplishment. Right?
No question.
Even I wasn't drafted in the NFL. You know what I'm saying? And so to have your name called on that podium is an amazing feeling. So I'm not going to take that away from anybody. Now, understand that once you touch that field, when that's all said and done and all the hoopla is going on, it's time to perform, all that stuff goes out the window.
Absolutely.
It goes out the window.
And that's my point in talking with everybody and the 10-7 limo people and all that stuff. Next Sunday, the 49ers are here, and Nick Bosa is a problem. And they're looking to inflict damage. Yeah, and if you look at this Lions roster and what they have assembled, Joique, I feel even worse about it today than I did before. Not because of the cuts. I mean, Brashad Perriman yesterday, Jahlani Tavai today, Mike Ford, Tyrell Crosby, Dan Skipper, Victor Bolden, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Not because of the cuts or anything like that. It's really hitting home the lack of talent that's on this roster, Joique.
It's hitting home now.
But when you start to see it, you know what I'm saying? I mean, when you have Dan Campbell up there talking about we need depth, when you use your first round pick, and take Penei Sewell, and then the first words out of the coach's mouth is we need depth at the offensive line. When you're looking for receivers off the street, you're in trouble, Joique. And when that gets verbalized, I get upset about that.
Why you get upset about it?
Because it's fallen to this. And I know we have this discussion all the time.
Here's my question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Here's my question, Neal, though, and I know that we've gone through it, but these guys haven't had the history of the draft. That this is their first time through. It's something where it's a different regime that's trying to set culture differently. And I guess to your point, are you disappointed because it has to be broken down to the foundation even more than you thought? You didn't think that you thought we could keep the basement, but we got to redo the basement too?
I mean, there's mold, there's black mold everywhere. I mean, the house has to be totally
at least you're addressing the black mold instead of trying to build over it like we have been in the past. So my whole point is cut your losses Before, I know the history, but the history of the second rounders and losing the guys and not being able to hit.
Well,
that's what Brad Holmes has been brought in for.
We had good second rounders.
Okay, you tell me the good ones, and I'll tell you the bad ones.
Amir Abdullah?
No.
He was bad.
Yeah, they don't make it through their first contract.
Yeah. You got to make it through the contract. You got to be wanted to be good. Contract. You got to be wanted to be good, man.
All right,
Slay. That's it. Darius Slay was one. There's one. There's two guys. I'll give you Jelani Tavai. Okay, keep going.
I'm not gonna give you Jelani Tavai. Well, he made it through. Okay. But let me see. But didn't Amir make it through his first contract?
It does. It doesn't matter. No one, Joique. No one looks back and says, "Oh, the Amir Abdullah days." Name a play he made other than the fumble.
And look,
this is big boy talk.
Titus Young.
I know you talk about him in practice and stuff like that.
Great talent, didn't produce
2 seasons,
on the field
man.
because he
produced on the field,
but he didn't.
But he got in trouble.
He didn't. But he's not here. That's great. He's a great talent, but he wasn't able. What do you say? What's the most valuable player available?
I'm gonna tell you this: you can't control what a person does off the field.
But if the off the field affects him being on the field to play, yes, it does.
It does. Yeah.
No. You don't hear what I'm saying. I said we can't control what he does off the field.
I understand,
but as far as that pick and what he was doing on the field, he was producing on the field. Yeah. Are we talking about people producing or people who had great careers?
Into the pick.
What are we talking about?
We can talk about people producing. That's fine. I'm not giving credit to a guy that has 81 catches in his career.
If doesn't get you on the field, then you don't produce.
I played 2 years. Yeah, he caught 40 balls a year. And Joique, look, man, I feel bad for what he went through. No question about that. I do feel bad for that. My heart breaks for that. Yeah. But ... Those numbers are those numbers, man. And
it's like you being an injured guy.
Yeah.
All right, and then
it's
what
like
about
guys that never get on the field?
All right, what about Mikael LaShore?
What about Mikael LaShore?
Yeah. He never did anything.
Come on, now you're clowning, man. Now you're clowning. Kerryon Johnson,
Jason Hanson, and Darius Slay are the only two.
That's it.
You said who?
Jason Hanson and Darius Slay are the only two.
That's it, man. Shawn Rogers was pretty good. That's it. Tease Tabor.
You said Shawn Rogers was just pretty good.
Ashawn Robinson, Amir Abdullah, Kyle Van Noy.
Kyle Van Noy is playing well right now.
Yeah,
he's playing well right now.
Well, he wasn't good here. I don't care what he did.
No. Was it coaching? Or was it the player? Because how you go to a whole nother team and having these great seasons?
Ryan Broyles, Titus Young, Mikael LaShore.
We're specifically talking here in Detroit, and the fact that you're
Jordan
saying yes, it's not about the. But
no,
what
that's what I'm saying. Is it coaching or is it players?
Drew Stanton.
So the past coaching, the past drafting, everything like that. What I'm saying is, when you told me yourself, you give them a 2-year window. The fact that there's more mold, there's more things. You got sold the house or whatever. That is really. You're going to have to disinfect the whole, you're going to have to do the groundwork like it had a gas station on it. You're going to have to do environmental. That's what Neal's saying. But as long as in the 2-year period with these guys and we come out ahead of it.
No, Neal said he's upset right now.
Just because it's coming to a head. It's coming to a head. That's what it is, Joique. It's coming to a head.
The past is coming to an end. This is a new future. This is a new regime.
And both things can be true, Joique.
No.
Both things can be true.
No.
This management, I give this management team here, I give Brad Holmes, based on his resume, I give it up to him, all right? It's your show. Your show. But that starts now. Like, guys, the 49ers are coming to town next Sunday. Nick Bosa is going to be here.
They're not going to win,
and he has bad intentions. But
but you know the good thing though. Their biggest weapon isn't playing. Trey Lance isn't playing.
That's your guy. But again, I'm going back to it. And Joique, you're going to listen to this, man. You're going to listen to this. Jelani Tavai, Kerryon Johnson, Tease Tabor, Ashawn Robinson. They had a couple of moments. Amir Abdullah, Kyle Van Noy, as we talked about. Darius Slay was a hit, no doubt. Ryan Broyles, Titus Young, they didn't have a second-round pick in 10. Louis Delmas, he had a moment.
He had a moment. Was good.
Jordan Dizon.
He had a moment. Come on, he was good.
Jordan Dizon, Drew Stanton, Ikaika Alama Francis, Daniel Bullocks, Sean Cody, Teddy Lehman, Boss Bailey.
Is that the year? What year
Come
was Kevin
on,
Jones?
man.
When was Kevin Jones?
Kalimba Edwards. I said Sean Rogers was all right. Dominic Raiola had a pretty good career. Barrett Green.
Pretty good career.
Yeah.
Come on, like you want to downplay every. He had a pretty
good career.
Dom was a great career.
15 years.
Yeah, he had a good career. What do you want me to say?
I think the reason why this is happening, and Joey, correct me if I'm wrong, these were your boys. Like, these you played with. So, Joique doesn't want to go in on his people.
But you know what, though? But if we're talking straight numbers, I have to be legit. The best guy we've had is Darius Slay.
Yeah, no question.
No, we're talking numbers.
But this goes on and on. Jermaine Crowell and Charlie Batch and Juan Roque and Kevin Abrams.
But listen, who can you put those picks on? Who from that Lions regime? Anybody?
The Lions organization.
No.
Absolutely.
Listen what I'm about to say.
That's who I put him on, Joique. The Lions organization.
Let me get. No, now you gonna listen, Neal. Now you about to listen.
Go ahead,
Who
Joique.
from that regime?
Bro.
Who from that regime? Any one of those regimes was there?
Joique. I was there.
Hold on. Either heading the team, the chairman of the team, the GM, the president. Or the GM.
I was going to the games. I was watching them with my dad. I was there.
I understand you was there. But that was a different team. That was different. Same ownership, but different leadership.
Yeah.
Now we got new leadership in there. We have a person that's in those meetings, that's sitting in there and still doing the best he can to understand this process, sitting in a meeting, and people are still criticizing her for just sitting in a meeting. To see the process, see what type of things they have to go through.
I don't care about any of that. Pick good players.
But you can't do that if you don't know the process.
But again,
pick good players.
But if you don't know the process, how can you pick good players?
We're getting rid of. They're figuring out what they did.
Exactly.
They made a bad choice.
I was here. You were
here. What they did, they made a bad. You could put the.
I invested my time.
You could put the Perriman, right? The Perriman decision to sign for $2 million guaranteed. Right, as a bad decision. But what did they do? They cut losses right away. Right? That's a decision by this regime. All the other stuff is the history of the pain that we have and the fact that it's going to take a longer. My question to you, Joique, is like a guy like Craig Reynolds, right, who came in, did everything they asked of him, whatever, and still got cut. How, like, mentally does he get another tryout because he proves that? Will he get picked up somewhere?
Yes, he'll go somewhere else. Because the thing is this. When you're out there playing, I said before, I say it time and time again, these guys that might not make this roster, they might not have a place here. But that doesn't mean they don't have a place in the NFL, right? They might be able to go to, say, a Houston, you know. They might be able to go to, say, a Rams teams. They might. When you're playing these preseason games, you're playing for 31 other teams. You're not just playing trying to make that specific team. You're trying to make every team is on the board.
Yeah.
Every team is on the board. And so the thing is, you want to make sure you have a good work ethic, right, in practice, because what happens is these coaches, they'll get released, they'll get fired, and they'll go to other teams, and they'll remember you because how you worked in practice. Because how you worked in practice, they'll know your work ethic, and they'll know your character. And so you got to think, I played on probably 6 different teams, but on multiple of those teams, I played with coaches that I had played with or who had coached me on other teams. From Buffalo, I had Curtis Marcus, who came to the Lions. When I was in Indianapolis, we had Jim Balcuda come from the coast to the Lions. When I was in New Orleans, we had Joe Lombardi come up. So we had all these guys who I played with or played for in my past. Coach Bono, a special team coach in New Orleans. So these are guys who came to Detroit who I played with, but they knew me from the preseason, or they knew me from playing on their team from the regular season, and they knew my work ethic. And so they fought for me to stay with Detroit when I had to part ways. And so, like I said, it's preseason, but at the same time, you're playing for 31 other teams. And just to go back to that regime talk, you did invest your time, right?
That's my time.
You invested your time. You invested which is more important than money, is your time. And so when you invested your time, you grow an emotional attachment to the city, to the organization. So right now, you're basing your choice and your decisions right now on what this new regime is doing based off past emotions. You can't do that. You got to let this new regime.
No, absolutely I can, Joique.
Now, how can you blame this new regime?
Absolutely I can.
Yeah, because I'm not blaming. He's speaking as his little fandom Lions fan.
Guys,
that's the Lions
told you,
fandom, not the.
Both things can be true.
Yes, they can.
I can cut Brad Holmes slack and Dan Campbell slack. I can do that. But I can also go back and look at what happened. And like Juice's Ghost here on the YouTube thread says, Joique, pick up the table and slap him with it. Pick good players. Yeah, that's all you got to do. No, pick a good player. Pick a good player. I'm not saying pick good players all the time. Pick a good player. Don't cut them 2 years after you take them in the second round.
Did you know that a streak starts with one, right? A streak starts with one.
Pick a good player.
We got good players. You don't understand.
Where, Joique, where are there good players, man? Where?
Pinay.
Zig. You're talking about the lowest graded performer in the preseason?
Let's go back. Hold on. Let's go back.
This isn't opinion for me, Joique. This is fact, man.
Let me go back. Let me go back. If we're talking about guys who play well, and let's go back just from my time with the Lions. All right. So I can't say Java Best because he was hurt. He got hurt. But I would, what could have been.
There's always a but, man.
Yeah. But what could have been? All right,
always.
2000. Who did he pick up first round? 2011.
I have it pulled up here. 2011, they did Nick Fairley.
Nick Fairley. That was a great pick. That was a good pick.
Yeah, all 4 years he was here.
Yeah, 2000. A good pick. Good pick. My bad. He was only part of one of the greatest defenses in NFL history.
But that's not the point of the conversation. The point of the conversation is
all
playing
4
through the
years
first
he was
contract.
Here.
Yeah. All right, let's go. 2012.
2012. They're for Riley Reef. That was a solid one. He's great in Denver.
2013. Zig Ansah.
Yeah.
Zig Ansah.
Yeah. Great in Seattle.
No, he was great here. He was good here.
Neal got one today,
when he was on the field, he was never on the field.
Like a lot of these second rounders.
He was also part of that.
A good buddy of mine used to call him Urgent Care Ziggy.
Oh, damn.
Are you serious?
How many games did he miss, Joique?
He's also part of that. He's also part of the greatest regime. Like he's also part of that great, one of the greatest defense you'll ever see in the NFL today.
Yeah.
One of the best. All right, 2014.
2000. Why don't you go back to 2010? Sue. When they took Sue.
Yeah, we had Sue.
Yeah, you can do that. And that's fine. He was great. Won a Super Bowl. Not here. 2014. Eric Ebron.
No. All right, no. Are we talking about what they did here?
2014. No, I'm talking about what they did here because I'm here for this.
No. You said you said make one good pick.
These fans.
And I'm giving you good picks
here.
I can't help it. I can't help it. But they went to other places.
That's part of it, Joique.
They have part of the
Joique, what don't you get about this, man? That's part of it.
Is it coaching? Is it the players? What is it?
It's all of it. All of it. That's what it is.
That's what I'm trying to get to.
No, but let's keep rolling. 2014, Eric Ebron. That was great.
Neal
2015, Laken Tomlinson. That's great.
No.
2016, Taylor Decker. Look,
that was good.
Okay, rock solid. You should hit on a first rounder, just like you did in 17. Oh, no, you took Jared Davis. That's right. This is what it is.
No one here is saying they agree with the picks that Bob Quinn made. Well, he had his own philosophy on how he wanted to do things. But now with this new regime, it's a new philosophy. And so
I give them time.
All right, and I get
both things can be true. But Joique, when I see a second rounder get cut again, Get what?
Because you couldn't trade him.
Yeah, even worse. You literally couldn't get anything for him. You tried to save him on Ballin' with Bell. Go back on the YouTube channel and look Ballin' with Bell last week. He did a great job of breaking down Najee Harris. Like a good player.
It was just that particular play. Just that particular play. It wasn't all his fault, and he had great effort. So watch this. I guarantee you, another team might pick him up, and he goes there and have a little bit more success than what he had. No, I'm just saying.
Yeah, okay, and that's fine, Joique. I'm running a little hot today, man.
No, I understand that. I understand that. You're emotional right now.
Dude,
but you know what cool you down?
What's that, Joique?
Northwestern Tech. Start a new career in the industry that is always essential, the heating and cooling industry. To learn more today, go to northwesterntech.edu. Joique Bell, Neal Ruhl, my man D Mac, my Flint's very own Artemis Smith. Woodward Sports, Big D Energy. Stay tuned.
Okay, you thirsty little spin goblins. I want you to pedal into the next dimension. Spin it! Spin! Uh-oh! Carmen's falling behind. Let's give her the hiss of shame. Spin till you bleed!
Don't ride the bike of shame. Come to Planet Fitness and find your own lane with tons of equipment, free fitness training, and no hissing. Join today for just $10 a month.
Back at it, Big D Energy on the Woodward Sports Network. My guy Joique Bell to the right. D-Mac, Darren McCarty, Stanley Cup champion 4 times over. To my left. Also, by the way, arguably one of the great Detroit sports second-round picks, Darren McCarty.
Yeah, you know what? Thank goodness. That was a Red Wing.
Yeah.
Right, Red Wings. So, I said to you this morning, it might be a pretty good second rounder here. I'm glad I'm not on that list. But you are a little heated here. But it's a passion, and I think it's just festered up. But is this the purge? So that you can allow, because...
And I will give them that, yes.
Right, you're going to purge. So this is a needed purge. I get, guys, when we're talking about, mental health or therapy or whatever, you got to get it out. Whatever it is, you got to get it out. So Neal, what he's doing is in front of you, he's sharing his Lions therapy so that he can move on. But, it's a tough thing. And when I think what the Lions are forcing us to see is really, really how bad it is, but they got to strip it down.
Absolutely.
And that's, what they're doing moving forward. Now, obviously, we made a couple moves for some wide receivers that some other teams didn't want, but they're, when it's Denver offensively and San Francisco offensively, hopefully these guys can come in. So, what's that like, Joique? This time, what's it like this time? So you make the team right now. You're on the team and moving in, but you're looking to build with guys coming in. Are you looking at the roster?
Listen. When you have a team like this with guys, you have a lot of guys who aren't that big name guy. Even when the season is going on, you need to understand that you passed the first round. This is the first phase. Now you have to keep your job throughout the season. Understand that Tuesday mornings, they're doing a workout every Tuesday. They're bringing guys in every Tuesday, right? They fly them in Monday night, get a good night's rest, come in, give you a walk through the facility, take you to the locker room, get on your clothes, we're going to run you through a few drills, and then boom, a guy can lose his job that quick.
Wow.
Right? And it happens. And so, it can be a mind game because, it goes to the media. We're bringing in this guy at this position, and the linebackers are looking like, why are they bringing in a linebacker? I thought we were doing pretty good. Or they bring in more running backs. I thought we were doing good at running backs, but they'll bring a running back in just to see. I remember when I left the Lions, they came back, I worked out. They said, listen, we just want to see if you were still in shape. We might call you down the road, but we just want to make sure you're still in shape. And so they do stuff like that just to see guys and see how good of shape they are. Just if something happens, they can see if they're really a true professional. Because say week 8 and they call a person in who hasn't played all year and they work him out and he doesn't look like he's in shape, they can say this guy's not a real professional because you need to always be ready. Because sometimes you lose motivation to continue to work out when you're not on the team. You're not getting that paycheck every week. And so they do stuff like that. So, yeah, congratulations. But understand, it's easy to make your first $1 million. It's harder to keep that first $1 million. So remember that.
Here's a question. How often does that happen? Like during camp or right before the season to where a player just decides like, hey, I'm not going to get in shape or I'm just going to do the bare minimum. Is that something that happens often, Joique?
I don't know how to even answer that question.
What do you mean? It's an easy question.
No, it's not. Are you saying that guys that weren't part of training camp at all?
Yeah, no, I'm saying that obviously the Lions have to cut to a 53-man roster. My question is this. How often is it that you either have players that are like unmotivated or players that get cut due to their lack of determination? That's what I'm asking you.
I haven't been to a camp where the guy just didn't care.
Okay.
Right. Unless, he was just, you have the guys who, they sign a big contract and, it'll be dumb for them to cut the guy. And so he's going to get a little bit more.
They know that too.
Yeah, they know that too. Right. I remember when the year I signed my contract, the coach came in and said, listen, you guys don't have to go to OTAs, but I'm telling you, you guys need to go to OTAs. The only person that's in this room right now who probably doesn't have to go to OTAs is, I'm going to be honest, is Joique. He the only person, he just signed a big deal. He probably doesn't have to go to OTAs, but he's the only person in this room who can't go to OTAs.
But you were going to stay putting that work in, though, even on your own.
Yeah, because but plus I looked at myself as a leader. I was one of the older guys in the room. I wasn't the oldest, but at the same time, I just kind of knew that if I wasn't here, it would give them a reason to say, okay, well, maybe we might not have to come, or they'll look at me and say, oh, he's all about self. And for me, I was always about the team, so I always wanted to let the team know and let the people, leadership know, like, no, I'm here. I want to win. And then not only am I going to show up, but I'm also going to put forth. Oh my God, Adam! Oh my God, Adam!
God. Oh God!
Oh my God, Adam!
I know nothing about what is happening right now.
Oh my God!
I feel looking at the YouTube thread here, I do feel as though we have to talk a little bit here about this, because I'm getting a lot of heat saying you can't blame past regimes for this. Guys, I'm not doing that. No, I go through great pains to say both things can be true. They are mutually exclusive. They are.
You're just stating facts.
I'm giving facts. See, everybody's telling me what they think. I'm telling you what we know.
And the thing I asked you, and that's why I asked you this, because I didn't want this to happen in the thread, because I knew it was coming. I asked you who a part of that past regime is a part of this new regime, including the chairman. And you say I'm blaming the Lions organization. So when you say the Lions organization, that means the people that are part of that organization, which mean in reality you're really blaming the regime that's there now.
No, I was there. I was there. D-Mac, everyone on this YouTube thread's been there the whole time. That's my point.
Yeah. I think a good point. I forgot who made it, but this is sort of where I am. You're having the moment that I think a lot of us as Lions fans, as Detroit sports fans, have had, because the teams have sucked so much lately and not anything to cheer for. Is you have to get to a point where, you want them to win, but if they don't, you can accept it as long as they're moving forward. Obviously,
which they are.
Right. Right. So it's okay to acknowledge this, because we don't want it to come up again. And I think this is before this. You're doing it before the season. This is a week to do it. This is the purge, gurge, puke, and do whatever, reset, and then we get ready to go. But it's going to be a long season.
Yeah, it is. Elijah Roberts said on YouTube, he said, "Get it out of your system now, boys. It's going to be a long season," and it is. There's no question it is. Again, both things can be true. I love what Brad Holmes did, coming in, dealing Stafford, stockpiling first-round draft picks, because that's the way forward. And you guys know this. I said this last week, this week, next week. As long as I'm ever on the air here at Woodward Sports, the draft is how you build a team, because rookie contracts in a salary cap era are the most valuable thing going. Especially since they restructured kind of that rookie pay deal. Remember when Stafford got picked number 1 overall, he got like $60 million guaranteed or whatever. Even now, more so than ever.
I think what was that? I think either my year, because Nick Fairley was 2011, correct? First round.
I think so.
Yeah, and so 2010 was the last year. So Sue year, the year that we came out, was the last year they had no salary cap for rookies.
Yeah.
And the person who messed that up for us, who messed that up for us?
I don't remember.
I
would say your players' union rep messed it up for you. That's what I would say.
I would say that too. I would say that too. But like how players would get the big checks as rookies and come in, and if they were a bust, they had majority of the salary cap. Yeah. Exhibit A, Jamarcus Russell.
I was going to say Jamarcus Russell's like the poster child for that.
Yeah, right. He was, and so that was their argument on taking money from. The rookies,
which is crazy, because why do the owners need to be protected from themselves? Like that's essentially what it is.
So what happened was, it was also veterans were a little salty, because what they're saying is, listen, we've been in this league for 5-6 years, and we're touching 20-something million, and rookies are coming in who aren't proven, and they're touching 60-70 million on their first deal, and they haven't proven anything. And so what happened was, and when they went to court, they said, "Listen, we're gonna cut this money down, and we're gonna distribute it elsewhere. We're gonna put a cap on you guys." And so the money that the veterans thought that they were gonna get was bad for them, because instead of like owners paying them that big amount of money, they would cut the veterans and just bring in younger guys, right? Because they were cheaper. And so what they wanted backfired on them, right? And so. And then also on top of that, if you look at the OCBA, some teams are only spending 88% of the salary cap, and the other 12% was going back into the owner's pocket. And so we had to do a deal with the CBA where we had to, every year they had to spend. It was called money spent, so they had to spend a certain percentage every year until it got to 100%. And so they couldn't decide, Well, they can't control where that money goes to, which player goes to, but it just has to go back to the player. So what they were doing was like basically giving the people that was already getting the most money, giving them that big lump sum. Like, no, spread that around.
Yeah.
Let the whole team get it. And so it's a lot of backdoor things that people don't know about in the business that, I look back and say, wow, like this is everything that's going on. So not only do we have to worry about playing and knowing the playbook and knowing our opponent and perfecting our craft and working out, but now we got to look at the legal side of it as well.
And watch your wallet.
Watch your wallet. And then also, we got to watch your wallet. You got to know your benefits. Because I remember I would go train when I left the Lions. I remember I went to go do a workout for different teams. And what they do is after you work out, they take you to the cafeteria. And you'll sit down with the guys who you just finished working out with. You might have some more running backs there. You might have some linebackers, some DBs, some O linemen, D linemen. So we're all sitting down. It's like 5 or 6 of us. And sometimes it might be even 8. But I remember sitting down talking, and these guys, they didn't even know their benefits in the NFL.
Right.
And I'm like, wow.
That financial education and stuff that's needed. I mean,
it's not. It's that, but also it's like your benefits. Like once you're done playing, what you're going to use to help take care of your family. Like they didn't have that. They didn't know that. And so I'm sitting there trying to break it down to them. Like, listen, you have to know this. You have to know that. When you're done playing, you have to know this. And so they were like, oh, really? I'm like, yeah. And like, reach out to your NFL PA rep. Like every team has one. Reach out to them. And so yeah, it's crazy. What we don't know.
No, and that's certainly, that's certainly something where the NFL, and look, this is probably another topic for another day, but again, I grow frustrated with why do you have to protect the owners from themselves, because they're the ones that came in and they bid against each other and they do all that kind of stuff. Because I'm a player's guy, Joique. I am, because the Le'Veon Bell thing, man.
The NFLPA isn't a player's guy. You're more players than it is, and that's the tough thing. So you're right, Neal. It always comes down, I think, because it's reality in life. When people with all the money are bickering and squabbling, it's like, well, why do they need somebody to stand in between them? But I guess, that's why Roger Goodell gets paid $46 million a year.
He's the guy that stands in between. But that's why, like, when the Le'Veon Bell thing was going on, I was doing talk shows and stuff like that. And I said, Le'Veon Bell should hold out all the games. If that's what's going to get him his money, I'll never begrudge, certainly an NFL player, I'll never begrudge a player, period, because this is a supply and demand thing. You supply the skill, so you demand the money. There aren't a ton of you walking around.
And I respect him for doing it, because the running back position is so undervalued.
Yeah.
It's so undervalued.
Coach Portland in 2 minutes.
And so it's great to see a guy like that kind of standing up for the running backs who aren't getting what they deserve.
Right. And I talked about this with Terry yesterday. Like 3 years ago, Le'Veon Bell, I had a fantasy football draft. 3 years ago, Le'Veon Bell was the number 1 overall pick. And in the draft last night, he was the very last pick. Somebody just kind of took a flyer, seeing where he signs and everything like that. It's amazing, and I did want to bring this up because you're here. It's amazing. In the 90s, it was Barry and Emmett and, Jamal Anderson and all those guys, but they were set. They got all the carries. They made the money. It was a valued position. In 20 years, running backs have become disposable now.
Disposable.
That's crazy to me. For a guy that touches the ball outside of like the center and the quarterback, the guy that touches the ball the most on the field.
Yeah. And I would like to see what Derrick Henry does with this contract.
Yeah.
I'd like to see what happens.
Yeah, absolutely. We all
because it's not too many. It's not too many teams where they have. It's not too many teams that have that guy that can take every carry all 16 to 17 games of the season. It's not too many teams that can have a guy that can do that. And also too, I mean, that's kind of changed. Just in the fact that running back by committee, yeah. I mean, and that's the way it's been. I mean, the injuries and everything that's happened. I mean, that's what the people will have you believe. But there are no more Derrick Henrys out there anymore. There are no, I guess you call them bell cow, every down, every situation dudes. There's not too many backs coasting through a season by themselves.
Right.
And speaking of coasting,
sorry, I'm just talking to Art.
No, that's cool.
That's cool.
Speaking
of coasting,
Oh, we're coasting right now?
Oh, my God.
I should pay attention to the sheet.
WSN 20, D-Mac.
Coasting, well, it voices everywhere. I'm just trying to take care of the voices that people are worried about. Yes, because you know what? They're going to coastportland.com. Everybody knew that this read was coming up. Next time I'll pay attention, boys. But yes, WSN 20, coastportland.com. We got the lamps. We have the machete. There's the sound. Absolutely go there. I know this last week, congratulations, Donald Holland, on the hashtag How We Coast with your, give me your hashtag How We Coast anywhere, your Woodward Sports Network, and on Fridays I will deliver you a $100 gift certificate. Till then, go to coastportland.com, WSN, for 20% off. Tell them Big D Energy sent you. Joique Bell, Neal Ruhl, Darren McCarty, Woodward Sports Network. Be right back.
Welcome to the Call Sam Chopper Shop, where you can win a custom-built chopper while helping our veterans at the same time.
Watch as the Bad Pig Custom team turns this bike into a one-of-a-kind classic chopper.
And when it's finished, we'll be donating the bike to Volunteers of America Michigan to raffle off in support of our vets.
A great cause to give back to those who've given so much.
Watch for Call Sam Chopper Shop episodes on our social media channels and get your raffle ticket today at callsam.com/chopper shop.
Energy on the Woodward Sports Network. My name is Neal Ruhl. He's Joique Bell. He's Darren McCarty. Flint's own Art is in the production booth. Fish is in the bowl as well. Got some comments rolling in here. You guys are fired up today, too. Dave Schultz says, Neal, I've had that moment, too. Now I'm no longer disappointed when they lose on Sunday. I'm happy when they win. It's great. If they lose, oh well. And look, I've had those moments in the past, too. I mean, let's be real. We all have. It's just verbalizing it to see how bare it is. And these are mutually exclusive of Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell. It's exclusive of that. I take that and separate them. It's just going back through it. I don't know how you can say you're not affected by it, because over the years, this is years now, you've invested your time, you've invested your money, your emotions. And look, is it an old bit? It might be an old bit, but damn it, that's how I woke up when I heard the news. Jelani and Darren, we did the show last week, and I said Jelani Tavai needs to be cut. I've seen enough. Like, name a big play Jelani Tavai's ever.
And then Joique gave you some that he may not be his fault, like calling it the accountability. Play. Which you know what? Here's my question, right, to Joique. Does Tavai have could this turn into a Kyle Van Noy, where you mentioned where Van Noy bust here, gets different coaching, goes to the Patriots, turns into did he make the Pro Bowl or but a great player. So are we worried about that, Tavai moving on and getting better coaching, or is this a talent thing?
It might not even be coaching. It also might be a system. He might go to a system that fits him better and makes him play better. Might go into a defense that can disguise his weaknesses and focus more on his strengths. And so it depends.
Speaking of that, I got a question for you. Was there any that system or any team that you didn't play for that ran an offensive running back system that you said, oh, dude, I'd fit into their system real well?
I'll fit into any system.
There it is. Do you have a preference? Like two back? You like old school? You like a fullback in front of you?
It's funny because I always liked the two back. I always liked the lead blocker. That's kind of what I grew up on. That's what I knew. And when I came to the Lions, we were more so like a spread offense, and so we were running a lot from the backfield. The only thing about that is I never like running out of pistol. I never like pistol because it blocks your vision. It splits the field. You can't read the way you want to read. Or you can, but it's a little bit more difficult. But like I said, I can fit into any offense, either spread or eye backfield or single eye. Like I make it work. I figure it out.
And a couple of other comments we have here. Brian Vandenhout says Sam Bradford year was the last year of the big money rookies. That was another one. That dude got paid.
Well, you can either hit the Mega Millions or the Powerball or just perfect timing.
Perfect timing and a perfect place.
I'm gonna tell you, these NFL contracts is kind of like real estate. It's all about location and timing.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's life.
Yeah.
Good friend of mine says life is all about timing. You get that one? It's a pretty funny one right there. But anyway, Art liked that one.
It's Joique's reaction. Joique just his reaction.
Well, I didn't say nothing.
No, it was just
pretty good.
Okay.
All right. Well, Joique, everyone's asking about this, and obviously, if you didn't hear the news, Cam Newton was cut by the Patriots, so Mac Jones is going to be his show.
Oh, yeah.
Certainly liked what I saw from him in the preseason, but I don't care about the preseason, so we're going to find out next Sunday for sure. But that begs the question, so I'll have Joique answer it right now. Is he a fit, Joique? Is he a fit here in Detroit?
Wouldn't hurt. Wouldn't hurt. It wouldn't hurt. Nah, it wouldn't hurt. I mean, I don't see him starting here. All right, it wouldn't make sense for him to come in and start. He'll have a week to learn offense. So I don't see him coming in starting. But him coming here and being a solid number 2, I think that'll be fine.
Yeah, absolutely.
It won't hurt us, and it's cheap too. They have a veteran like that in your locker room. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, and Almighty Drew says they're not fans here. You guys are critics. And look, I go back to it. I deal in fact. You tell me what you think. I deal in fact, and the current regime is exclusive from what happened before. That's a summation.
We are fans of Detroit. I love Detroit Lions.
Absolutely. So do I.
I bleed.
I was a season ticket holder, man.
A little blue. So definitely a fan and also a former member of the organization.
Yeah, so. and I was a season ticket holder for a number of years too. I bought season tickets a year after they went 0-16. By the way, held them for 4 years.
You and Joique are basically. I mean, he was in the organization. You went through the suffering. Like you guys are both Lions, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're both realistic. I mean, you're optimistic.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. Sometimes optimism will be the death of you, and I think that. Us getting Cam and then having Jared, that's two, mediocre QBs.
Well,
and one funky line
they don't need Cam when they're going to get 10 wins.
Hey, I'm with you. I have to address the elephant in the room sometimes because everybody's talking about it. So we had to get Joique's thoughts on it. But speaking of Lions quarterbacks, Jared Goff was in the news. He was talking to the media and Art, Why not the Lions?
Why not? I mean, honestly, saying that, that we have what it takes to win the NFC North, you got to dream big. You got to dream big.
What did you just say about optimism? What being a doubt? What did you just say?
I also said that optimism can be the death of someone, so yes.
Is that what you're segueing into this article?
I will say that Jared Goff is very optimistic, and anything is possible. We could potentially get the NFC North if Aaron Rodgers goes to jeopardy. The Vikings are going to suck. And Justin Fields, he didn't look too amazing. Did you see that hit? I did. So, anything's possible.
Wait.
There's no
Matt
ifs,
Nagy's
they will.
doing the best job by starting Andy Dalton for us.
But
we'll see how Goff responds when he gets his helmet ringed around and he's looking out his earpiece. One of these first plays.
We'll see what happens. Now, I'm going to tell you this, and we talked about it earlier. The good thing for us is that Trey Lance will not be playing due to the chip in his finger, which I did some research on, and I think they said that it was what do you call it? The volar. I think it's called volar. A chip in his finger right here that's going to prevent him. No surgeries. He'll be out a week and come back. But I was very interested to see who they were going to have starting week 1. If he didn't have that finger injury, because I like Trigger Trey, man.
And and Lions fans will see this. They're working him in the offense. I mean, they're both on him and Garoppolo are on the field at the same time. They're running RPOs with Trey Lance. I mean, they are using him. Even if Garoppolo's a starter, they are using Trey Lance as a weapon.
He definitely is a weapon. he is.
But do you ever think about this? Where Shanahan's looking to use him like a Taysom Hill, but the fact if you throw him in,
he throws better.
No. I understand. But what I'm saying is he's going to get his beak wet. Garoppolo's going to start. You're going to place him in there, but not only when you put Taysom Hill in there, you're worried about a run or something like this. With Trey Lance, he could actually stand back there and throw it 80 yards down the field. But what I'm saying, I could see them using him as a weapon in specialized plays more than just throwing him right into the battle so he gets his feet wet.
I would say this. Taysom Hill is more disposable than Trey Lance. And so whenever you want to put that's your franchise quarterback. That's your franchise quarterback right there. He's the future of your team. Taysom Hill is not the future of
I get it. But, so you wouldn't start him or put him in for gimmick plays because he's got that? And protect him if he's practicing with the one starts. I don't know. What do you read into that?
I think there'll be smart plays. You don't want to run him too much. he has good legs, but also his arm talent is pretty good too. He threw one interception, which shouldn't have been an interception because the receiver got both hands on it, and regardless of him putting that on himself and saying, I threw a little bit too high, a receiver would tell you, if I get both hands on it, I got to come down with it. And so
but isn't it he gives a different look than Garoppolo does, just like Hill did for Breeze. I'm not saying run him, I'm not saying, but if Neal's saying he's working with the ones the way he is, that to me means that we might see him in a trick, not a trick play, but in some sort of packages. Maybe they got
he'll have his own packages. He might have his own packages right now and work him in there. But at the same time, like I said, if I'm an OC, I want to make sure that I'm making the right moves with my franchise.
So you're going to just treat him more like an Aaron Rodgers, not let him work behind.
I'll treat him like a Patrick Mahomes. Let him make some plays downfield, and then if you can't do anything, then use your legs. Use your legs because he's capable of using his legs. Aaron Rodgers is capable of using his legs.
Right.
People
he's sneaky.
Yeah, he's sneaky. He's sneaky
quick,
fast. And
explain that, Joique, because everyone you watch him in live time run.
Yeah.
It doesn't look overly athletic. He's not a burner.
No.
But he's always getting 12 yards when he tucks it and goes.
Yeah, no, because it's called that deceptive speed. And so when you have that deceptive speed, you don't realize how fast someone's running until you're behind them chasing after them. And so you have a lot of players like that who look, they might have good form, and so they might have a little bit longer strides. But no, Aaron Rodgers is pretty fast. He has good speed. Now I got a lot of respect for him. I don't like the Packers, but I give respect.
Is there a guy when you played that as a running back that you missed that was faster, or linebackers or defensive tackle? Somebody ran you down and was like, "Wow, dude! That was impressive," or somebody did something like
DBs. Has a linebacker ever? I don't think a linebacker has ever ran me down. I don't think a linebacker has.
Well, just somebody that you were surprised.
Has a linebacker ever ran a running back down in the history of football, according to that running back?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
I just wonder, did you ever have a surprise, go wow? Here's the thing. I'll give you an example.
Now, I
hit Peter Forsberg so hard with he had the puck at center ice, we knocked the wind out of each other. I was like, that's the hardest hit. I hit him, and I got the worst of it too.
Yeah, so I tell you, actually, there's a guy on our team. I seen a guy chase AP down the sideline and just missed him before he scored, and he was like Ziggy Ansah.
Wow.
Ziggy Ansah. I didn't realize he was that fast, and then I kind of learned his history after the fact. I didn't know. He ran like a 10-900.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was like, man, okay, and so when I saw him chasing down Adrian Peterson down the sideline when he played for the Vikings, I was like, wow, that guy. He was moving. That guy's moving.
Yeah. So, again, though, and real quick, just to update you, we were talking about Derrick Henry. He has 2 years left on his deal, so he'll be a free agent at 30. So he's not getting anything. He's not. It's just the way it is.
He will. I'm gonna tell you what he's gonna get though. If he's successful this year, and then next year. So this year included, right?
Yeah, he has this year and then 2 years after. He's 27 this year. He's 28. He'll make $12 million next year. He's making $10.5 this year. He'll make $12 next year, and then he makes $12.5 in 2023, and then he's a free agent.
Right. So say he's still productive, right? He's going to start doing 1 year deals, 1 or 2 year deals. That's it, and that's good for him if he's betting on himself and he stays healthy. That means he can keep getting those $10 to $12 million, contracts. And if he finished 29 with say, 1,400 yards, you can't deny him. You're going to have to pay that man. You have to pay him.
And then you know what he can do with all that money? He can buy a lot of Papa Romano's pizza.
Whoa.
Papa Romano's handcraft pizzas have made them a Detroit favorite for over 50 years. House-made dough, hand-cut veggies, and fresh cheese make the difference. The same quality goes into all their pizzas, salads, subs, and pitas. Order now. It's lunchtime, people.
Hungry.
Get those lunch plans in order. Go to paparomanos.com. Get that lunch order in. Get it done.
Hi, I'm David Hall from Hall Financial. With historically low interest rates and 5-star service, you could pay your mortgage off faster without increasing your monthly payment. Get started now at 248-308-5000 or chat with us online. Call hallfirst.com.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device. Back at it here, second hour of the show. We are cooking here today. We are just moving our way through Big D Energy. My name is Neal Ruhl. He's Joique Bell. He's D-Mac. Darren McCarty. Football on the front of the mind, everybody. Because, look, as Darren said, week 0 is in the past. For some stupid reason, they call it week 0, even though they actually play games. So that technically makes it week 1 where I live. But, whatever. We got a full college football slate. I'm excited about that. But, NFL always staying in that news. And Joique, you and I talked a lot about the Deshaun Watson saga, and I'm curious to get D-Mac's take on it as well. The rumors were over the weekend that Miami was closing in. They were going to get the deal done, that he was going to Miami. Then the word came out. Philadelphia is a factor now. He still, as of right now, is in Houston. Houston has said, we will make him inactive every single week. They're prepared to pay him to not play. So, I mean, just kind of your view of it from the player's perspective, because I find that I thought if they're going to make him inactive, if he was going to stay in Houston, I'm playing him because I'm paying him anyway.
Yeah.
So I'm playing him. But Houston, I guess, they're saying, hey, we'll make him inactive every single day. But then Miami's head coach Brian Flores comes out. He says he wants high character guys. Obviously, Deshaun Watson's in a character-type situation right now. Just what's your view of this? Do you think this trade's going to get done? Is he not going to play this year?
You know what? This is a tough situation. You have to look at both sides. You got to weigh out the pros and cons. You got to look at that balance. Which way is it tipping? Is that reward? Is that reward high enough? So for Miami, they made a huge turnaround. Huge turnaround. So
and they're ready to roll now. Yeah. And they still have a lot of draft capital in the future too.
Exactly. They took a team that was 5-11 in 2019, and 2020 came back and went 10-6, and so they're heading in the right direction. Now, honestly, you can bring a guy in who can get you over the top. And I think if Deshaun Watson, if he can keep his head on straight and he doesn't let the off the field stuff or the off the field issues bother him, he can be the guy to help elevate that team to the next level with his skill set. That was kind of a shot. You see, high character guys. That could have been the shot. But at the end of the day,
is Flores trying to squash this?
Huh?
Maybe Flores isn't on board with the whole Deshaun Watson thing. Does he do this and go to the media and say this and try to squash this and say, look, we're not interested in this dude? Or is he trying to drive the price down? All these things are in play.
All this is in play.
All is in play.
All this is mind games. We want to get the guy, and even in that conference, like they're looking at the character of the guy, looking at talent on the field. They're looking at contracts. They're looking at the money they have to spend to get a guy. All this plays a major role in picking a player, bringing a player to a team. And these are things that we, outside looking in, we don't know. We can't see. We can't see. But a lot of this stuff is crucial. Even when you go to the draft, you have meetings. You have interviews. You go, you sit down in this room, in this hotel room with, it's like 6 guys, or 8 guys or 10 guys in the room sitting around in a big circle, and you kind of sitting right here by yourself, and they're just throwing questions at you, questions, and they testing your character. Oh no, what do you believe in? What's your work ethic? Where you're from? Okay, why do you do this? Why? And it's like you're in an interrogation room. That's what it feels like. And so, do they do this with the guys that are coming from other teams? Probably not, because they're already proven, right? But with a guy who's going through these type of off-the-field issues, this is a guy you want to bring in. You want the coaches to meet. You want the players to kind of meet them. You want to have that sit down. Let's go to dinner. Let's talk about it. What are your thoughts on it? And just kind of see where his head's at, and then you'll base your decision off of that. And these are the things that goes on that we, outside we won't know.
Yeah, and D-Mac, about that, you were...
Here's the interesting thing, okay? This is what I'm waiting for and have all along. If this trade goes through to anywhere with Deshaun Watson, that pretty much lets me know the powers that be that he will play this year. The more that it hangs out, the more that he sits out with the legal ramifications, because we haven't heard the almighty Roger Goodell in the NFL lay claim on this or speak.
They're hands off.
They're all focused on the Delta variant and all that stuff.
Right.
They're church
They're worried about
mouses.
stuff that's going to cost them money. That's what they're worried about.
So here's the thing. So now, as it's always waiting to hear, waiting for Rusty Hardin, just Watson's attorney, all these different things. So if a trade goes down, because it have to be NFL approved, they're not going to allow it if there's going to be some legal ramifications behind it. So that's, to me, I looked at this when I first saw the headline, and this is how this is. I don't know if anybody else was like, well, that's a dichotomy when if you're Brian Flores is saying that, but you bring that up. No, he is probably saying that the character of the guy's more important than, I guess, the talent to give us over the edge, because we don't need that smoke with what we've built here. We can probably get there with another guy.
Yeah, but what about that, though, D-Mac? I mean, the Dolphins, as Joique said, the Dolphins are in a spot right now where they're looking to break through. They're looking to break through.
So here's a question of scruples, right? That goes to the fan base, right? So if we were the Lions,
and that's going to be my question.
If we were
you
the
sat
Lions,
in locker rooms
would we,
like that.
to get a Deshaun Watson to take us over to the top, no matter what the legal issues or maybe some, as a human being, do you want him? And people will say yes, and people will say no. So again, it's
how much does this come into play, though, D-Mac? I mean, when you're sitting on the precipice of maybe getting over the top.
As a player, you don't care. Like if you're
right,
in the heat of
point.
the battle,
yeah.
right? If I take myself back to 97 or whatever, and you bring somebody in that can help me get over the top, right? Even if it's, say, a Claude Lemieux, at a point where you're going to figure out a way to try to win as a player. Now I can sit back and say, well, that's whatever it is, but at the time you can't say it because you're just focused on winning.
And Joique, I got the feeling that in an NFL locker room, if you can get over the hump, like if the Lions could have brought Deshaun Watson in 2014, it would have guaranteed you a playoff win. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you know what I'm saying?
No, I don't think. Nah. I think it was just putting us in a certain position. I think that when I played, I don't think we put our offensive players in the best position to be able to beat themselves.
I know. I'm just hitting you with a hypothetical, though, Joique. Like if you could have brought Deshaun Watson in and we guarantee you a playoff win, you would say no.
No, because I don't think the issue was the quarterback position. But everybody has their own. They have their own thoughts. But honestly, I think if we came in, he probably would have gave us a better opportunity or a same opportunity, but because of his leg ability. But I don't know.
Because D-Mac's in. If they can get him over the hump, D-Mac is in. But these are the things that
it's too many holes to fill for him to carry. I don't think he wants to carry that mantle at this point in his career. I don't think he wants to come here and start with a rebuild. He wants to win now. So his best option is to go to a team that's right there, and the team that's right there is Miami. Right there.
Yeah. And I think Bob's Big Boy on our YouTube chat thread brings up a very good point. Says Miami shouldn't overpay for Watson. The longer they wait it out, the more his value drops. Make Houston play Watson and put up trash numbers. That would help you out even more. He says checkmate on that if that were the scenario. I get that feeling, and I'm always a cynic, right? Like I always think that people have an underlying message that they want to deliver, and that's where I think that Flores is going with this, where he says like we want high character guys, but that statement alone by an NFL coach, Darren, that statement alone drives down the value of Deshaun Watson league wide.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely, and I think that as far as the longer this goes on, the more it plays out. Again, the end all be all is what the NFL does when they come down with whatever ruling they have regarding this. So again, it's in wherever it is legally. We're waiting to hear.
Yeah, and according to what I read last, that the actual trial stuff wasn't supposed to start till February, which is after the season. So, I mean, it's a tough spot for Miami because 4 years, $156 million, Joique. That's what it is right now.
110 guaranteed.
Yeah, that's where it is.
110 guaranteed. $27 million signing bonus.
He got absolutely. And
give me that money.
But that's where it is. And if you're you're playing the ultimate game of poker right now. If you're Miami on this, because if you do that, if you do that and you bring him in, that contract, that cripples you financially. It does. You're pushing all in with this guy. So, maybe it's a situation where they won't do it. I love these kind of debates, though, like that forbidden fruit type thing. People will tell you they don't want to do it publicly, but when they go home at night, they think, man, Deshaun Watson could get us a win. I'm just saying that's what people think.
You know what, though? He could be a valuable piece, but it's hard to bet on the unknown. There's so many unknown variables. I remember we had Coach Curtis Mikins on the show, and he said that when you're dealing with people, it's a lot of unknown variables, so you can never have a true formula. You can never have a true formula when you're dealing with people. And so take the bet. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose.
Yeah,
but understand if you take this bet, understand you're not playing with house money.
No, you're certainly not. We're just keeping up with all the roster cuts that are happening around the NFL. And look, we talked about the Detroit Lions earlier. Lions fans really have to keep an eye as far as who's cut, how things are going to work. Lions did swing a trade. For those of you that missed it, Trinity Benson was acquired by the Detroit Lions from the Denver Broncos. I believe it was a fifth round and seventh round pick, but the Lions will get back a sixth rounder next year. So, this was a Division II guy that played at East Central, 6 foot, 180 pounds. But this is the chair they have in the game right now, where you're going to have to pick through the trash. And I don't like to put it like that, but theoretically, that's theoretically what you're doing. I mean, the cast-offs from the other teams, if you can swing trades, you swing trades. Figure the Lions to be active in the wide receiver market, figure them to be active in the offensive line market, and probably the linebacker market as well. So, I mean, Joique, you look at it from all those perspectives, you have to keep an eye on what's going on over there.
Yeah, so for me, it's weird because even Dan Campbell came out and said that some of the guys that's going to be a part of this team aren't on the team right now. All right, and no one job is safe. Understand they're always looking for ways to make the team better. Even if you make this the first 53-man roster, just because you're on that doesn't mean you'll be playing on this team in week 9, week 10. Just the way this game works. It's just how it works. And
this all kind of spilled over to my thing in the open, too. That was the frustration and the anger. Again, mutually exclusive to this regime. They get their time to operate. They get their drafts to operate and everything like that.
So what do you want to see from this regime?
Build players through the draft, through every Super Bowl team we look at, even teams that go to the Super Bowl, the Chiefs, going back to the 49ers, just the way that these teams are homegrown, because it's the only way you can win. You're not going to win through free agency in the NFL. It's too expensive.
It is expensive. But
it's too expensive.
But at the same time, those free agents are the people that's going to take your team over the top.
Right, but you have to have rookie deals on the books in order to get a position to take you over the top. I just want quality players. I want guys that get their second contract. Just get a second contract. When we go back 4 years from now and we flip through this draft and next year's draft, when we do that, just have guys that are still playing, man. That's what I'm looking for. I just want guys that are still playing, Joe. I don't think it's a lot to ask for.
Well, it's not, but that's the name of this game. So throughout this preseason and watching the guys play, and we talked about this before, and we talked about the top guys that we think are going to be successful out the quarterback class. And I said I was a Trey fans, and we talked about the top quarterbacks this year. And I said, we have it on air that I have Trey. And you see, we just released. They just released Cam Newton, and I'm not gonna lie, Mac Jones has really impressed me this preseason.
Accuracy, man.
He has really impressed me. Now it's funny, when he came out, I did a side-by-side comparison of him and Tom Brady when they both came out to the draft. Similar body types.
Right. Underwhelming.
Yeah. And his body types were I don't know, underrated or overrated. I don't understand. I don't know. But I said, if he looks like Tom Brady in the body, he might be able to play like him a little bit. He might be able, just a little bit. And I'm not saying that he's Tom Brady, but what I'm saying is
he's built like him.
He built like him
physically,
but his accuracy, he looked real good.
There are some comp traits, right?
Yeah, some traits there. That's all. I mean, I just saw that. I mean,
and when we were talking about the rookie quarterback thing, it's his ship right now. He's the captain of the ship, so he's going to get all the opportunities. So it will be interesting to see how that all shakes out. We're going to take a break. When we come back, I want to touch on the college football coaching hot seats. There's one local, you guys probably already know, but there's a lot across the country. But before that, Joique,
Levels in Centerline is now open. Come experience the next level in cannabis on Sherwood between 9 and 10 Mile. Download that app today and start collecting points so you can level up. Search Enjoy Levels in your Apple and Google Play stores right now and get started. Make sure when you stop by Levels, let them know that Woodward Sports sent you. This is Big D Energy.
Okay, you thirsty little spin goblins. I want you to pedal into the next dimension. Spin it! Spin! Spin! Uh-oh! Carmen's falling behind. Let's give her the hiss of shame. Spin! Spin! Spin till you bleed!
Don't ride the bike of shame. Come to Planet Fitness and find your own lane with tons of equipment, free fitness training, and no hissing. Join today for just $10 a month.
back at it here, Woodward Sports Network. This is Big D Energy. Neal Ruhl, Joique Bell, Darren McCarty with you. Fish is in the bowl. Flint Town's very own Art. His cell phone starts with an 810 area code, so you know he's as Flint as it gets. Happy to have you with us. Everybody commenting. Here's a good one here on the YouTube chat thread. Ryan's reaction says, I heard Dan Campbell cut Tavai for following Jalen Green on Twitter. So there's that. We're back to that.
Well, that'll do it.
And I expect the flood now to start, the Jalen Green texts and tweets and all that stuff. So, Ryan's reaction also said, Tavai said Luka Garza was overrated, so we released Tavai. He's gone, man. It only takes there's only a couple of buzzwords.
We can't take. We won't take that against our guard.
Yeah. I did want to touch on this college football thing, but Joique, I know you wanted to touch on this as well. The NFLPA came out and put out their statement where they said there's going to be more COVID testing for players, daily tests for unvaxxed players, weekly tests even for vaxxed players. And this goes back to what DMAC said, where it really seems to me that this COVID situation is front of mind, and because that affects the pocketbook, man, as we saw. Yeah, but from a player's perspective, what's your take on all that?
I think the NFL is doing things that make it look like they're taking the necessary steps in order to protect the players, which, I'm not against them testing every day, but I think vaccinated or not vaccinated, it should be the same amount of testing, because the vaccination, from what I've studied, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it doesn't stop you from attracting the virus. It doesn't stop you. It doesn't stop you from spreading the virus. The only thing it helps with is with the symptoms once you attract the virus. So I don't understand why the vaccinated players are getting tested less than the non-vaccinated players, the unvaccinated players.
Is that a union issue, or how's that working?
Honestly,
you don't know. You don't know. You're not in that world.
Right, I'm not in that world.
Your best guess.
Right, my best guess is I don't know if that's the new NFL protocol. These are the new rules, or these are the new guidelines, but I don't understand it. I think if one party is getting tested, the other party should get tested too. Because the vaccination is not going to stop you from spreading or contracting the virus. It's just not. And so I don't understand it. Art, can you clarify? Do you have any, am I wrong? Am I giving out wrong information?
I can say, I'm waiting for him to go, okay, thanks, Art, but he didn't. Thank you, Joique. I could say, from a standpoint of if you have the virus or you had the virus, you have antibodies. So I think being forced to take a vaccine after you have antibodies, I don't agree with that. But as far as the NFL stance on it, I get them wanting to vaccinate everyone, but like you stated, Joique, they're gonna get sick. It's just the symptoms will be less. It's not a 100% foolproof.
Yeah, what I'm saying is this, though. This is what I'm saying. That even if you are vaccinated or you're unvaccinated, that even though you are vaccinated, you can still contract the virus and you can still spread it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just your symptoms are less.
It's just your symptoms are less.
Right.
So my thing is, why are they making the players that are vaccinated get tested less than the players that are unvaccinated.
I think if it made sense, we wouldn't be talking about it.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like, it doesn't make.
It's true though.
It doesn't make sense to me, and so that's why I come back and say they're just doing what looks good for
the public.
The public,
absolutely.
And like it doesn't make any sense. Like, and if I'm wrong, like come in the chat and give me some more information, because for my research, that's the only thing the vaccine is doing, is introducing you to this virus so your body can be equipped for it when you do catch it. But it's not going to stop you from spreading it. You're still going to have minimal symptoms, and you can still spread it to your family.
Yeah, and in the YouTube chat thread right now, we're back on it. Juice's Ghost says Jalen Green puts on his pants before his socks.
Ooh.
Jalen Green buys the insurance when he rents a car. But Darren, I think you touched on it best. Let's not get this twisted here. This attention to the COVID and the publicity of it all and everything that's going on, that's the biggest threat to the NFL's money right now. Let's be real.
No, absolutely. And you see that by the reaction. And it goes to the priorities of follow the money, and that's more important than the social issues, a lot of them that the NFL has, and this is ongoing. But I like what Joique said, is that if there's information, educate. You know what I mean? It's not like an argument. It's some of us need to know more of the education, and facts are the facts.
Yeah, and then it's funny because, like, anything, even on social media, anything that, I'm not even going to say that deters you from getting the vaccine, anything that talks about anything that's not encouraging people to get the vaccine is deleted off your page, and then threats of deleting it off, like deleting your account off of that platform. Anything that's not encouraging people to get the vaccine. If you mention the vaccine, it has to be promoting getting the vaccination, which I'm like, why are they doing that? Like, why are they doing that? And I think what they're saying, they're sending out false information. But I remember I posted something, and everything I said was factual, and then they deleted the post off of my page, and I didn't understand why. And they said that I was giving out false information, and I reached out to them and said, "What did I say that was false?" And I never heard back. It's weird. It's weird. It's weird. And so it's just like, I'm for anybody, and don't get me wrong, I'm for like freedom, freedom of free will. You want to get the vaccine, get it. I haven't gotten it yet because I need to do some more research on it. I need more research on it. So for me, we don't know the long-term effects. We just know, and we just got FDA approved for it, and people were getting the vaccine before. And another reason I was hesitant, because I remember my father got the vaccination, and that same day he fainted. I said, well, let me continue to do my research on it. And so for everybody, like you have your own choice. But I think one thing I do know for certain, that it doesn't stop you from contracting the virus, and it doesn't stop you from spreading it. It just lessens the symptoms. And so for this new guideline they put in there, I just don't agree. I think they should test everyone the same amount of time. So if the vaccinators get tested once a week,
and you would think that makes sense, because again, if you're trying to protect your money, which is, I think, it's the root of all this. And look, let's be real too. I did get vaccinated, and the reason I got vaccinated wasn't because I'm trying to be this grand American or save people, save other people or stuff like that. I did it because I travel a lot for work, and it's going to make my life easier. That's why I did it, Joique, for real. I mean, I talked to my wife about it. That's why I did it, because it's going to make my life easier as far as traveling around and things like that. Now, the side effect of it all is, do I feel more protected against it? Yes, but at the same time, Joique, I'm vigilant. I'm not rolling into a huge crowd or anything like that. I mean, I'm not bulletproof, because I have a couple of friends who were vaccinated, had breakthrough cases and stuff like that. Like, it's not over, folks. Like, you don't get the shot and it's over.
Art got vaccinated and almost died.
Well, no, that's not what happened.
I'm joking. I'm just joking. I'm just joking. He didn't almost die. He just sounded really bad, and I was hoping for the worst. But go ahead, Art.
Bro, thank you.
Damn.
Jesus. That was a little much. So I did I ended up contracting COVID like 2 days after I was vaccinated. I tested positive. And I mean, I have antibodies right now, so I'm kind of just riding the wave. I'm going to end up getting vaccinated because our freedoms are being taken away and I'm not trying to be like, our freedom's in the government or whatever, but it's going to get to a point where you're not going to be able to do anything.
Do it again. What's the voice she did with that?
Our freedom's in our government. But, I just, it's becoming, I think, in New Zealand and Australia, they have it on your phone. So
I retract my statement saying I wanted the worst for art.
Thank you. Okay.
New Zealand had one case, they shut the country down.
Right. But they also have the thing to where, like, when you go like this with your phone, it's going to pull up your vaccination card. And they're doing that in New York now. So it's going to become a thing. You can't fight the government for long. Like, it's going to happen. You're
the biggest gangsters in the world.
Yeah. You're not wrong there.
All right.
Yeah, the most money too. I mean, that's just that's just the way it is. So
nobody bigger than that. Ain't nobody bigger than that government.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll continue to see, how that continues to play out. Chad, but not that. Chet says Jalen Green thinks Cam Newton is still an MVP quarterback. Yeah, hey, when it through all else, we always have the Jalen Green chat thread going on. So, it's one of those things where that is, I think, bargain, that's negotiated, all those kinds of things. Again, I'm guessing. You probably know more than me. So I don't know.
Nah, I drink so I thought Art got a vasectomy, not a vaccination.
I thought it was my body, my choice. Isn't that like, let me decide when I'm ready for that, okay? Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. But, I did want to get into the college football thing, and we'll carry this over into the next segment, no question about it. But I want to get both your guys' opinions. And Terry and I talked about this a little bit, but Pete Thamel had a tweet out and talked about some of the biggest coaching names in college football, that it was time to put up or shut up. Jim Harbaugh certainly was on that list. Scott Frost was on that list as well. So Harbaugh's 49-22 at Michigan. Joique thinks that's impressive. I don't. Scott Frost is 12-21. Clay Helton at USC is 45-23. Chip Kelly at UCLA is 11-21. Herm Edwards.
They pounded Hawaii though.
Yeah, big win. Yeah, they're back. UCLA's back. Herm Edwards at Arizona State, 17-13. I mean, Ed Orgeron made the list, which I thought was kind of funny. It's 45-14 with a natty in tow.
How do you put a guy with a natty?
Yeah, I didn't get. Hey, the media does that for clicks sometimes, I guess, as you know. But it was funny because Jim Harbaugh and Scott Frost are one and the same for me. And Joique, you and I talked about Harbaugh before, and you got into the record and all that stuff, and you're cool with Jim Harbaugh and the job he's doing based on the record, right? I just want to resubmit that.
Yeah, you say I'm cool with his record?
Yeah.
I'm cool with his record, but not his track record of the games that he's winning and versus the games that he was losing. Now, if those 22 losses all went from like schools with winning records against rival schools.
All ranked schools because they never beat ranked teams.
Right. And so if some of those games are on the other side, then I'll be happy with his track record. But his record, if you're just looking on paper, isn't terrible. But the games that he's losing is what makes it look bad. The teams that he's losing to. His record isn't bad though.
Sure,
it's not. You gotta be honest.
Yeah, lots of big wins over Army with that field goal, missing that field goal.
But what I'm saying, those are. But I'm saying though, because now we're calling out teams, but we're talking about just the record. Just not looking at the teams they playing.
Yeah, but records can be shaped, especially in college sports.
I'm lockstep with you, Neal, so you can take over. It's not acceptable. It's not acceptable because you're supposed to be Michigan, because of the hype, because you can't win a big game, because you can't beat a ranked opponent, because you can't beat Ohio State, because you can't win a Big Ten, because you're supposed to be doing all this stuff because of who you're supposed to be. So I know Scott Frost is Jim Harbaugh's that's Jim Harbaugh's biggest fan because no one's obliterated anything like he has in Nebraska with his record. But the records don't matter when it comes to college, when it comes to you're supposed to be the leaders and the best. No. So that's my thing.
I was told when we were working together at the other radio station, I was told that day because I did the show, I was told Nick Saban's on notice.
Yeah.
Remember, we took those phone calls, man. Nick, that was a quote. I'll never forget that quote as long as I live. Nick Saban today is on notice. As Michigan is back.
So what is Nick Saban today now?
Yeah, absolutely.
He's still the same. Nick Saban was on notice when Harbaugh arrived in Michigan. What's Nick Saban now? Well, I mean, how do you disparage that from penthouse to outhouse? That's the biggest, they went the furthest way opposite. It's crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to continue this discussion when we come back, but I do want to remind you, every Friday, Woodward Sports Network will broadcast one of the best high school football games in the state right here on the Woodward Sports Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter as well. This Friday night, Southfield A&T at Birmingham Groves. 7 o'clock will be the opening kick there, Southfield A&T at Birmingham Groves. They got a power-packed lineup of action. Chippewa Valley in a couple weeks at Macomb, Dakota. Some good high school football over on the east side. So make sure you check out Woodward Sports, your home for high school football this fall.
I'm looking to bring on another HVAC tech right now.
We are recruiting 5 to 10 techs a month.
We're looking to grow and expand. Every new tech we hire is from Northwestern Tech.
The hands-on training is fantastic.
They're always my first call.
We love hiring Northwestern Tech grads.
They come out trained and ready to work.
Our program is only 10.5 months, and our next classes are starting soon. So why wait?
I'm looking to hire
a graduate
of Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech. Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
What up, though? Welcome back. Woodward Sports Network. It is Big D Energy. Neal Ruhl, Joique Bell, Darren McCarty here with you. Art, Flint Town's own, representing in the production booth. Fish is in the bowl as well. And you know, we're talking about this whole college football hot seat for the head coaches. Certainly Jim Harbaugh's on there. Scott Frost. If he didn't have a $20 million buyout, he'd be gone. But I like watching the misery at Nebraska. I do. Because, look, much along the lines of Harbaugh, I was told that when Nebraska came to the Big Ten, look out, they're going to come, they're going to take over. And we've seen how that's worked.
No, it really hasn't. And you look at all the lists, and obviously clickbait for Ed Ogeron, but different out of everybody there, the expectations of going in was Jim Harbaugh the best, the Chip Kelly UCLA, but that program hasn't been the same. You know, to me, Herm Edwards at ASU has done a fine job because that program wasn't, a top program. But it goes down to what you got to follow the money and the reason. Well, why is Frost still there? And you just 20 million
reasons, exactly. Chuck Brewer says on our YouTube chat thread, if you want to get involved too on the thread, go on our YouTube channel, click on the video there, and the comments come fast and furious. Everybody can kind of get together as a community, get your thoughts on the show. Chuck Brewer says, I'd ask, what do you expect from Michigan? Harbaugh is about the same record rise as Bo Schembechler was. And for me, and D-Mac kind of chuckled, knowing that I was going to get to this because he's heard this bit before. Yeah, exactly, because Bo was an average coach too, at best. Again, that's not what I think. That's what I know. He was 2-8 in the Rose Bowl, always got crushed in the Rose Bowl, didn't win big games, won no national titles. He is the exact same as Harbaugh, for my money. And, I was stunned that they had a statue of Bo there, and I know that everyone's going to fire up about that. And I'm not even talking about all the other stuff. I'm talking about just strictly for the football coach. He was a brand, much like Michigan. Bo Schembechler was a brand. I'm just talking about coaching-wise. Again, his biggest rival, Woody Hayes, racked national championships. Bo never won any. So, again, you'll tell me what you think. I'll tell you what we know. You can go to Google and look it up. Bo Schembechler, 2-8 in the Rose Bowl. That's what it was, man. I don't want to hear. And yesterday, Terry Foster talked about it. That was before Wisconsin was in play. That was before any of the other teams. Northwestern was a joke back then. That's just the way it was, guys. So save that. If you're going to come in and try to light up the comments about Bo and stuff, I don't want to hear it because they never won anything of substance. The only guy that ever did that was Lloyd Carr. He cashed in that championship, the half a national championship. They split with Nebraska, by the way, according to who you looked at. But with all that being said, man, that's where it was. But these coaches on the hot seat, and Joique, look, man, college football is a coach's game, right? Because it's the same coaches all the time that are good, it seems like. Why is coaching so crucial in college football?
Because once you have a winning season, you get better recruits. That's what it is. And usually players want to go to teams where they feel comfortable. I remember when I was getting recruited, they would tell me, go to a school that is recruiting you hard. All right, because that's the way they're going to treat you once you get there for your next 4 years. And so I remember when I made my decision, or when I ended up going to Wayne State, I remember the coach said, he told me, he said, just as hard as you making me recruit you, that's how hard I'm going to make you work when you get here. And so when you have the coaches that are winning over and over and over, like the players and these are the teams you're seeing on TV all the time winning. Obviously, you want to gravitate towards those teams. My son's the same way. I will ask him, "What's your favorite team?" And he'll be like, "Golden State Warriors." Why? Because Steph Curry. Because Steph Curry. Is it just because? No, and they're winning that. So you always want to go for you want to go to the winning team, right? And so that's kind of how it is where you're trying to decide what college you want to go to. And the best recruits are going to go to the schools that continue to win. And the coaches that continue to win are going to be the coaches that will continue to get the best players.
Right, and that's the cycle that it's on right now. I always said that about John Calipari. People are like, oh, they cheat and everything. I think that John Calipari's past the point of cheating. I think the brand sells itself, man.
For years now. And that's where you get to it or got to it. And that's what Michigan was before, as the brand, right? So the game's changed, the ideas changed. You look at it and the success Harbaugh had at Stanford, then took it to the NFL. It's apparent maybe he's not that great of a coach. Maybe it's for some guys coach older players better than younger players because they listen differently. But once the recruiting, to Joique's point, once you're successful, recruiting's easier. And once you fall down that hill, recruiting's harder. So maybe name, image, likeness now. So it's changed. It's put everybody on the even field with those brands because you can go out and say, hey, we can offer you this and offer you that if you're that star player. So we'll see. But you're exactly right. After a while, the brand sells itself.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, it does. It does. Now, I would say this, that sometimes when you're dealing with a school or you're dealing with trying to recruit players, you can go to a school that has success. I remember Grand Valley was like the Alabama of Division II for a while. Right. And
racking chips.
Racking them up. And so when I was coming out, that was one of the schools that recruited me. I remember Northwood recruited me as well. And Wayne State had lost to both teams the previous year. And not only did they lose to Northwood, but Northwood set an NCAA record on them for most rushing yards in the game, where they had put up over 600 yards rushing in one game. And so I remember I told them that Wayne State was in the hunt for me. And they told me, why would you go there? We just beat them 72-3 or 70-3, whatever it was. Why would you go there? And I went back and told my head coach, like, yeah, they asked me, why would I go to Wayne State? They beat them 73 last year. And my coach looked me right in my eyes and said, listen, if they ever tell you that again, tell them that you weren't there yet.
I do like that line.
And that's what he told me. And so I ended up going to Wayne State. And I remember going down to play Northwood, and we beat them at their house. And that thought in my head went through, remember to tell them that you weren't there yet.
Yeah. when you tell that story. But I know, but as you talked about though, Darren, the waterfall continues to fall. I mean, you got to look too. Remember that picture that went around social media, the Alabama running backs? I think it was like Kenyon Drake, Derrick Henry, TJ Yeldon, Alvin Kamara was there before he transferred to Tennessee. That was like a backfield at one time for Alabama.
Who was the one back that they had at Alabama? I think he went to the Cleveland Browns for a while, or finished with the Cleveland Browns.
Was that Trent Richardson?
Trent Richardson.
Yeah. That didn't work out well for him. I mean, they can't all be hits, but Trent Richardson was good as hell at Alabama.
It was good at Alabama.
Yeah. Wasn't in the NFL. But hey, so we got more text coming in on our YouTube chat thread. Chad, but not that Chad, says, Neal, hurt people. I'm not. See, guys, you'll learn this about me as we go. I'm dealing in fact. Again, I'll go back to it. Everything I said is 100% accurate. I didn't, Darren, did I make any of that up?
Your facts, I'm accountability. There it is. I mean, it's the truth. If you don't like the truth, that Neal's not the guy, because he's going to throw it right in your face, and he's going to give you the link and tell you this is where it is, and tell me how this is not the truth.
But can I ask though, if you got accountability and everything, what is Joique then? What would you say?
Joique's whatever he wants, bro. He told you earlier that he can play in any system anywhere that he wants.
You know what art is? This is art right here.
Some days he'll be the butterfly, some days he'll be the rhino. It doesn't matter, Art. You just worry about you think that's bulletproof protective glass for your seat.
You saw how you jumped earlier.
I didn't. I did not jump. I did not jump.
Have you ever seen That's My Boy? The movie, the Adam Sandler movie, That's My Boy?
I saw it a long time ago.
I saw it a long time ago? Okay, never mind. Never mind. Because honestly, the way that Art jumped, I really think that you like.
I got in defense mode. I went like this instantly.
Show people your fight sense again.
Yeah. I went into Fighting Irish. I lived in South Bend.
I feel like that fight sense like from the 1800s.
Well, you know, that's What's wrong with that? What's wrong with that, D-Mac?
The Duke of Ellington.
Yeah, I'm the Duke of Flint.
And the boxing matches were like 60 rounds.
Yeah,
like went on for a day.
Man, let me tell you here, boy, I'm gonna knock you silly.
Speaking of Notre Dame Fighting Irish,
we were talking about the coaches. So obviously we said like Scott Frost and Jim Harbaugh are kind of locked at the hip. Here's how bad it is for Scott Frost. Scott Frost would have to go 37-1 at Nebraska in his next 38 games to get to Jim Harbaugh's record. Think about that for a minute.
If Fish did want to bring up like a fun fact, if that's okay.
It was related to the Notre Dame Fighting Irish stuff because you guys were doing the mascot. My mic is on. You guys were doing the mascot. Apparently, they're labeling it as racist.
I can't hear.
Oh, you guys can't hear?
Well,
yeah. He talked about the Notre Dame Fighting Irish mascot.
My mic is on, so I can hear myself. Levels are here, so
yeah, we can't hear you. The people in the chat said they can't hear you either.
I don't think that's what they didn't say that yet.
Can you guys hear Fish in the chat?
Bob's Big Boy says Jalen Green wears retro Starberries. Did you rock the Starberries?
No, never.
No
Starberries, no, never.
He's like an empire over in China. He went over to China and played like in his late 30s. And they can't keep Starberries in stock over there. They love him.
Seriously.
Yeah. Good for Stephon Marbury, man. Absolutely. I'm happy for the guy. Some other news out of the Michigan camp. Harbaugh named Cade McNamara the starting quarterback versus Western Michigan, so they will kick off their season. So, and I read it in the Detroit News this morning. The media tour, the media hype Michigan tour is firing up the engines. We're seeing that about how he's a pure leader and all that kind of stuff. But again, Darren, I mean, it's always going to go back to that with them, and they're losing. They're losing in the court of public opinion. They've been losing on the football field. There's no magic pill that's going to fix this for them.
Here's the hope: it's hard work, and hopefully now it's a little bit quieter, right? So hopefully the play on the field. Michigan State, the Lions. It's like you said before. It's there's mold. And it's got to build somewhere. So we got to see something. Doesn't matter what is said coming out of Michigan until the proof's in the pudding, until whatever quarterback starts. I know Cade McNamara.
Yeah.
There's too many Cades in this town. Cade McNamara.
There's only one motorcade.
I know Cade McNamara is no Cade Cunningham. Sorry, but if he goes out there and he's got an opportunity to prove why he's number one, this team still has the ability to go out there and prove it. So I'm not gonna the bottom line coming up at 2 to 4 weekdays here after us. As Ryan Armani says, they're 0-0 right now. I'm not gonna get too excited until I see the product on the field.
Yeah, I mean, but that's one way to look at it, or you can look at it for what it is, and the lack of big time recruits that are in there. And it's all going to play. That's the good thing about this. We talk about it, but it's going to play out on the field on Saturday, and then it's really going to play out on the field the following Saturday when Washington comes rolling into town. We're going to find out who's who and what's what.
Well, that's the thing, right? The one thing is that these conversations will play itself out, and we'll find out which is true or which not, or it can both be true in this case.
Jalen Green thinks Fish is a band. That's right.
He's basically an entire band.
He's a one-man band.
Yeah.
No question.
Yeah.
But what else? We got some good ones coming in. Jalen Green uses both feet for the pedals when he drives. My mom actually did that. My mom does that when she drives.
No.
My dad used to do that, but no.
He said what? Use both pedals when he drives.
Use both feet on the that is good stuff. But it's just one of those things where it's going to play out. And for Jim Harbaugh and for Michigan fans, I think there's going to be a lot of pain again, just given the nature of the games, where they're at. Ohio State's coming into town. I mean, Joique, I don't know, and you haven't seen them yet, so you don't know. It's just, what does your gut say about where this Michigan season's going to go?
It's up in the air. Let's see how this quarterback will lead this team. We talked about how when you have a quarterback back there who can make plays and put you in a position that to always have an opportunity to win a game, it makes you play a little bit harder on defense. And then watching the plays on defense makes you want to play harder offensively because you've seen what they're doing. And that energy is real out there. And that momentum, which we call momentum, that energy is real. So
good and bad.
Yeah, good and bad, honestly. And so when you see a team on the sideline, you hear the commentators say, oh, that team looks flat on the sideline. There's no life. Like somebody let the air out the tires. That's real. And then you have coaches going down the sideline. Who's going to make a play? And it only takes one person on the team to make a play. And then the next player is going to want that same type of energy. He's going to want to feel that. And so we'll see how it goes. It's up in the air, honestly.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So we'll take our final break. When we come back, I want to get into this Tigers discussion too. AJ Hinch isn't getting enough credit in my mind. I mean, look, I'll give you the numbers when we come back, but we'll get into that discussion. Final break of the show. We'll come back. We'll wrap this one up. You're watching Big D Energy right here on the Woodward Sports Network.
Welcome to the Call Sam Chopper Shop, where you can win a custom-built chopper while helping our veterans at the same time.
Watch as the Bad Pig Custom team turns this bike into a one-of-a-kind classic chopper.
And when it's finished, we'll be donating the bike to Volunteers of America Michigan to raffle off in support of our vets.
A great cause to give back to those who've given so much.
Watch for Call Sam Chopper Shop episodes on our social media channels and get your raffle ticket today at callsam.com/chopper shop.
Back at it here, final segment of the show. We're pushing here, Big D Energy. We got the smooth bumps in the background right now.
I like that.
Yeah. That's a vibe, man.
Oh, vibe, bro.
That's a vibe. I snuck my bars in earlier. I had the Jeezy reference.
Put the camera on you while you bouncing your head.
No, I'm okay.
My name is Neal Ruhl. He's Joique Bell, D-Mac, Darren McCarty, Flint's own Art, and Fish is in the bowl. But I did want to wrap up talking about this. AJ Hinch met with the media 2 nights ago, as a matter of fact, and brought up the fact, because free agency is a big topic, right? Because the Tigers aren't as terrible as everybody thought they were going to be, me included. I thought this was going to be a historically bad baseball team. But you know what I did, guys? I really underrated and I really undervalued AJ Hinch. For those who don't think a manager makes a difference, I'll give you Exhibit A with this Tiger season. Darren, I know they went way past your expectations as well. You're a big baseball guy. You're locked in all the time. AJ Hinch, man, just pushes the right buttons.
Well, I think when you look here at what the tweet, we're going to develop a winning culture. If you want to be a part of it, you'll come, and if you don't, we'll beat you. And what it does is how important that leadership from being the winning pedigree and all the stuff that happened with the cheating in Houston, but to be able to have that resurrection and put his stamp and sort of his thumbprint. To me, this is him saying, and we heard Al Avila, the general manager, come out, Chris Ilitch come out, say we're going to spend money or whatever, but this is putting a thumbprint and putting the culture on his back and saying it starts now. Now, why can he do that? Because he's got 3 young starting pitchers that he's developing now. He's got the guys coming up in the farm system. He knows that things are developing the way it is. And on the field, these guys, what's their record since the All-Star break? Because they're one of the better teams in the American League.
Last I read, they were 54-50 since they got off to a terrible start in April. Start. They're 54-50 since that time.
Over the last 100 games to play 500 ball with this year, they have exceeded expectations for me. Now there's still growing pains, and obviously, you see there is a detriment. We need more bats where they can get shut down, like last night or yesterday afternoon, 2-1 to the Twins. But definitely, if my expectations were definitely super exceeded, probably double, if not more, this year.
Yeah, and you look at what he's doing, too, because I just want to give it some context with the job that he's done managing this baseball team. You don't have anybody on the team with 20 home runs, not one player. Your best hitter, in Jonathan Scopes, hitting 282. Robbie Grossman, who everyone thinks is having a good year, and power-wise he's hitting 236. I mean, it's just, with this team, and Jeimer Candelario's hitting 272 with 10 home runs, there's nothing there offensively. There's literally nothing there offensively.
They got to scrap.
And they do, and that's how they win, and they understand that. Now, Casey Mize has been great. He's 7-7 with a 3.59 ERA. hasn't struck out maybe as many as some people thought he would, but whatever. You're kind of nitpicking at that point. The 3.59 ERA is big time. 1.15 WHIP for all the analytic folks, which I know I'm of the opinion too. WHIP is more of a determining factor than your ERA. But still, with all that being said, what he does with the bullpen, the way he manages the bullpen, Darren, and that's where he's made his money, because this bullpen, I thought, was going to be an absolute clown show. And outside of Joe Jimenez, it's been the strength of the team. Now they've taken out a little bit of water as of late, but
that's
I mean,
just because
162 game season,
right?
Man.
But they've been used a lot, and I think that you look at Derek Funkhauser, you look at a lot of the middle relievers, Gregory Soto coming in throwing 100 miles an hour, right? Michael Fulmer, he's had his moments, but you can see that old Michael Fulmer, and he's really embraced his role in the bullpen. So. There's progress there, right? So you have something. They've been able to win games. They've been able to use, Alexander to pitch. They've put spot starts together with relievers. So they're figuring it out, but they know that they have to add some pieces, but they'll know exactly what they need to add. They're just not gonna, this guy's good, or this guy's, the top 8 guys went everywhere else, we can get 9 and 10. No, hopefully it's more of a destination, and because of AJ Hinch, because of what they're building, because of the direction they're going, it might be a destination place for one of these younger guys, maybe a shortstop. Maybe you look at, I know we've been talking about you got to look at guys on contract, but I wouldn't be surprised where you see some of these old Astros come out of contract, maybe a Correa, maybe Carlos Correa, shortstop, something like this, come back and play for their skipper, because obviously people like playing for him. That's why he gets results.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's one of those things, too, where, as far as the Tigers have worked out this year, it just makes me upset that A.J. Hinch wasn't here in 2012 and 2013 and 2014, through that run, because he manages baseball games in that modern style.
That's when he was still learning his pedigree, so he didn't have it then. So all that time, what he's learned, I don't think it would have mattered.
No, I'm just saying, like, if you could just pick him up now and drop him in there.
Sorry, guys. Neil's living in Maz world right now.
Yeah.
All right? You got to clarify that you're going Tom Maz way.
Hey, we got to go to Mazland sometimes, man.
Just say we're going to Mazland.
We're going to Mazland. You know what? We're going to do that, right? From now on, whenever I do these hypotheticals, I'm like, all right, D-Mac, humor me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get on the bus and we're going to Mazland.
We need a graphic in the back. Can we get a Tom Maz way driving the bus?
Art says challenge accepted. It's just got to go across the screen.
Hey, put Tom Mazway face on the screen right behind us.
Right at the he's got to be in the driver's seat of the bus. His elbow is sitting out the window, and Maz is driving like this. Absolutely. It says Mazland in cursive on the side of the bus.
But that's totally a Mazland. Yes, AJ Hinch, his managerial skills.
Put him there in 2012.
Today, back to our. And do you think it would have mattered with the time spent between the first and the championship and the finals, because it was the week off and the 10 days that really hurt them?
Yeah, I think it more would have been like the bullpen management in that Boston series. That was the team, right? That team that lost to Boston was the team. That may have been, and I know that may have been the greatest Detroit Tigers team ever. But it's not, because they didn't win a World Series.
Tigers.
But it's not because that 84 Tigers team, when you break down the numbers,
33 and
the 35 and 5,
35 and 5,
greatest start ever.
That was one of the.
They were roughly 500 after that. Though.
What's that?
They were roughly 500 after that.
Yeah, but
and if you look at the numbers, they weren't great
because they wanted Guillermo Willie Hernandez to win the Cy Young,
which he did, the MVP,
because he pitched like 6 out innings, 8, 9. I mean, there. How about Sparky? See, I'll reverse Maz you and say, what about if we had Sparky Anderson for? Would it have mattered back in 12 and 13 to manage the bullpen? So
we'll go back.
Hindsight is always 2020.
We'll always go back to Maz. We'll always have Mazland together, D-Mac. We will. A couple other housekeeping issues here. The Lakers signed Rajon Rondo to a 1-year, $2.5 million deal, so he'll be out there with LeBron. Speaking of Maz,
LeBron James.
like we put on this list here, he joins LeBron, AD, Westbrook, Carmelo, Dwight Howard, Marc Gasol. No mention of my boy Kendrick Nunn.
None.
He didn't
get none. He's going to end up getting buckets for the Lakers before it's all said and done, like he did in Miami. That's my guy, man. Oakland University in the house. But anyway, with all that being said, Joique, Lakers are they're putting it all together.
Man, they got a lot of old guys that's about to walk over these little fellas. I mean, you look at it. You have LeBron James. You got Carmelo Anthony. You got Marc Gasol, Dwight Howard.
They broke down last year, though, man.
Rajon Rondo. But that's the thing, you have to know how to play them throughout the season. You have to know how. I'm gonna tell you who's not gonna break down. Westbrook's not gonna break down.
LeBron's washed. Sorry.
That's misinformation on your part, Art.
Yeah,
that's misinformation.
Definitely.
I'm just doing it to make Joique.
Are you living in Massland too? Art? You gotta do West thing. That's something Mass would say. But you're Joique, to your point, older team.
Carmelo Anthony, he watched too?
Yeah, he's old. He's
old. No, but all he has to do is drain him from the corner.
Hold up. I ain't asked you.
My elbow. Corner threes, who cares?
Yeah, I'm not a big Carmelo guy myself.
I'm not. No.
He's one of the most prolific scorers in all of NBA.
You don't win in the NBA with Carmelo Anthony. You know how I know? Nobody ever won in the NBA with Carmelo Anthony.
Typical team he's been on has been a complete team.
Well, if he's supposed to be, all that.
LeBron did it.
Yeah, LeBron grabbed a franchise and rose it up.
He grabbed a franchise and brought people. He either went to a team that had it. Only team that I would say he won without having multiple All-Stars on the team would probably be Cleveland when they came back down 1-3 and they came back and won it all.
And he strapped them on their back, man, and carried them.
Right. But I'm not going to put Carmelo Anthony in the same category as LeBron James.
Right.
But he is that. Yeah, I'm not putting him in the same category. But he is not washed up, and he's not just.
He's a more one-dimensional player. LeBron's got more tools. Anyway, you look at this lineup. When I look at this, what do you immediately see, Neal? I look at how you play these guys. The run and gun. Who's the run and gun teams that are going to run this team? Because this is old guys. And to Joique's point, that if they do not bench manage these guys and keep them healthy and stuff like this, one of these young Phoenix teams up and down the court in the West, can wear these guys down.
Watch this. They can slow it down on the offensive side. They can slow it down on that. They can control the game. And plus they're smarter. They have more experience. So it's not just about running.
No, I get it. But to your point, that's not an overly athletic team. I mean, it's a big team.
Yeah, I'm not an AD guy either.
So who's on this roster that's not athletic?
Athletic to the point of
Anthony Davis when he's on the IR for 45 games a year.
All these guys
that's what it is, man.
Can get hurt or have been hurt, and you can say that because LeBron suffered a groin injury, and I know he'd never been injured before, but once you get a groin injury, it's a lingering injury. I don't care what it is. So LeBron James drinking too much wine on the sideline. Joique says that's a selfish injury, a groin injury. So
plus he had that ankle injury too on top of that last year.
Yeah, I mean, but LeBron's the one on that list, dude. I mean, you can't question that man's credentials. Like we can't sit here and say anything about LeBron, but all the other guys got question marks except for Russ. I mean, I'm a big Russell Westbrook guy. I'm not an AD guy, not a Carmelo guy, but I like LeBron and I like Westbrook.
Now, is LeBron doing Space Jam 3? Because if LeBron does Space Jam 3, then it's going to be a terrible season for him.
Fair.
Yeah.
Fair. Bob's Big Boy on our YouTube thread. Lakers are going to get that senior coffee at McDonald's.
That's good coffee,
You know what it is?
It's great coffee.
Like low key, they don't get the run for their coffee that they should, man. Their coffee's solid.
It's black water. What are you talking about?
Dude, no, you're wrong.
Is not.
Why you speak out of you don't
You're from Canada and you said McDonald's. Is it better than Timmy Ho's? Is it?
It's a different coffee.
But is it better than Timmy Ho's?
He didn't say
Timmy Ho's
compare
has
it to
a different
anything.
taste.
He didn't compare it to anything. Now you're just trying
to stir stuff up.
I would never.
Art,
I would never.
Shut up, Art.
Oh, God. Oh, God. CoastPortland.com. WSN20, the discount code.
Yeah, I wonder how Art, this serrated side, I wonder how bad that cuts.
Listen, my insurance doesn't cover that. Yeah, why would you do that?
Wrapping up the show. Lakers are older than Uncle Drew's team.
That's a good movie.
That one cut Joique. That one cut Joique deep. Wrapping up the show here. You guys got anything else for the night?
But hey, well, what did that Uncle Drew team do?
Win.
They got the dub, man.
They got the dub.
They got the dub.
Just so you know.
Got anything else, Joique, before we cut out of here?
Gang.
Yeah. D-Mac?
Gang.
Right. Well, that's it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well,
Joique
Bell, Darren McCarty, for everybody else here at Woodward Sports. My name is Neal Ruhl. Thanks again, everybody, for watching, for listening on the radio now. If you're listening on the radio as well, certainly we do appreciate that. Appreciate all the comments and everything. You guys are great, man.
I'm going to tell you this, though, before we leave. if you ever been to a black church, Neal saying bye to everybody is similar to like the pastor closing out. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna close. All right, I'm gonna close it out.
When you're
3:30.
when you're on radio and stuff like that, you got a clock, Joique. You got to fill it. That's being a pro.
Yeah, that's true.
That's being a pro. I'm carrying you till 1 o'clock, man.
Yeah.
Don't give the secret sauce.
Guess what? It's overtime.
Yeah. Thanks for watching, everybody. Well, see you later.
See you tomorrow.
Yeah, we got 30 seconds.